Alright, hello everyone. I'm Lonnie,
I'm Amber.
and we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hicks, Tennessee. And I think everything's alright.
I don't think so, right?
Yeah, anyway, this is trying something new, using new software, so bear with us. Anyway, we are wanting to talk about the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, and this is like one of those movies that I've been wanting to see for like 3 years now. It's just not happened. It's one of those movies because, and I hate it, but because it's an independent film, it tends to get overlooked, for like a lot of the bigger budget things. Even though he is like one of my favorite YouTube personalities.
Well,
Um,
I mean, let's be real here. It wouldn't have been the same if it had been big budget.
oh no,
I
not at
mean,
all. I think part of the charm of this movie is the fact that it has.
the
I mean, I
same effects his YouTube videos do is
yeah, I
great.
don't know exactly what the budget on this was. I'm sure it was probably in the tens of thousands
Oh,
of
yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
Because they had some really good locations. They had a lot of people involved. Granted, a bunch of the people were probably fans who just volunteered to come on.
Hmm.
I know the I know the movie was actually funded through like a Kickstarter or GoFundMe. Of course, he had zero issues raising the money.
Oh, well, yeah,
I
I'm sure.
remember when he was actually doing all of the campaigns for it and was like writing the movie and was looking for everything. And like I actually watched the making of this all through it. Of course,
Sorry.
you sneezed on a video. And
And what you pointed out, honey,
I make it a
thanks.
big point whenever I do it too, don't worry.
Well, that's you.
Um,
Thanks. Appreciate you.
but yeah, this, I mean, I watched kind of the process of this, and I've watched all of his works, and I mean, really, in like I think late 2013, early 2014, his YouTube stuff really took a hit because
I don't know.
he was
I have
focusing
no
so
clue.
much on the movie. But
Because I didn't even know this movie was a thing until you found it on here. Like,
oh
I
yeah,
had no
yeah,
clue.
yeah, I knew. I've known about this movie for a few years.
I didn't know it was even an old movie. I thought it was
No,
something new.
it's been out for
I
like
didn't know
three and a
that
half
until you
years.
said that. I was like, mm.
Yeah, this
I
movie.
mean, to be fair, until you showed me last year his videos, I didn't know it was a thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Angry Video Game Nerd. I've been watching him since like 2011 ish,
Hmm.
2012. Yeah, like I discovered his Castlevania 2 video, which just so happened to be episode number one that he ever did, and that's how I found him. I was just looking up
This
Castlevania 2
game
videos.
sucks.
But yeah, the movie itself, a low budget affair, but really good. It now, I'm not saying you know like if I would have gone to the theater and saw this, I would have been like, what the crap? But I mean, this was a really good movie for an under $100,000 budget movie. This was insanely awesome.
Hmm.
Um, Granted, some of the effects were kind of funny, and that's really the charm.
Yeah,
He
because
knows what
his
he's doing.
videos are like that.
Yeah,
So why make the movie different?
that is very true, and he knows what he's
I'd been
doing.
mad if it was different.
Um,
Like, I probably would have gave it a low score. I ain't gonna lie.
well, of course, he's been to film school.
Hmm.
He's gone through the ropes. He actually makes good quality content. He's a good writer. He knows how to make films. So it wasn't like it wasn't like something I would make where we just get a webcam and film a few scenes, throw some bullcrap effects on the screen, and hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this is like was really good. The plot was good. It was. Here's the thing. This is crazy. Whatever, and it's weird to say this, but whatever strikes I would take against this movie,
Hmm.
I'm actually adding to the score because it's what I expect out of him.
Hmm.
Like this movie had a lot of flaws and over the top stupid humor and like
Hmm.
like things that any other movie, I would be like, oh, God, I can't believe they did that. But because it's him doing it, I'm like, holy crap, it was perfect. Because that's what I've come to expect from him.
Perfect.
Like some of the, the one line that got me, God almighty, I nearly lost it, was, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but whenever he was like walking up to the van or whatever, and said something like, "The nerd's gonna handle this," and then immediately he said, "I was just saying that for the trailer."
He's like, "What?" Yeah, the other dude was like, "What?" He's like, "I just said it for the trailer, okay?" God.
So that's what you're dealing with for the almost 2 hours, and for the plot is basically he's making a big deal out of everybody wanting him to review E.T. because it's supposedly the worst game of all time. And he ends up, this company decides to make a sequel to the game. And so they basically sucker him into coming down to the New Mexico desert in that landfill where all the game cartridges were.
Mind you, because
buried.
they have no legal rights to use E.T. for real.
Oh my God.
It's an off-brand.
It's actually E-E-E.
T-E-E.
E-T. And it was funny because you pointed out that the graphic on the video game of E.T. is E.T. with a mustache.
Yeah, for the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a mustache.
No, they had it on the first one.
No, it was on
It was
the
the
second
first one, I promise. Because
Okay.
it was the old pixelated E.T.
Okay.
The new one was 3D. But it was funny.
Hilarious, let me tell you.
Oh my God. And, turns out E.T. Oh God, I don't want to really spoil it.
How old's this movie?
4 years? 3 years?
Okay, I don't think we're spoiling it.
Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, just in case someone else ges butthurt because they ain't seen a movie that's,
Because,
4 years
to be
old.
honest, I'm one of his biggest fans, and I've not seen this movie until tonight, and the movie's like 3 years old. It's on Amazon Prime now. You can watch, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get on there and watch it for no extra cost. Check it out. Really good movie, worth it. But yeah, turns out it gets kind of complicated. But basically, the guy who created E.T. programmed in the game map is actually a real life map of Area 51. And there is an actual alien there who looks like the E.T. alien in the video game. He's got like a really big mouth.
And he's green.
He's green, and whenever his mouth opens up, it looks like E.T. extended his neck in the game. So, there was a lot of weird over-the-top stuff, like the dude with the lava pit and the invisible block inside his house, and that was a little out there. And then the fact that E.T. and the video game nerd are actually flying a jet at one point, and they make a funny.
That dude's house, and they put their heads in the fridge to talk to each other.
Well, I could kind of see that.
But that was still over the top, regardless.
That's like a weird, one of those paranoid individuals.
Yeah, I know. It was a different take on that, cause.
And of course, I mean there were the guy who does his music, Mike Matei. He was on there.
That was cool.
The dude, God, I can't remember the guy's name, and that you just pulled my nerd card right now. But the guy who is the founder and president of Trauma Films, he had like a quick little cameo. And there were probably a crap ton of cameos in this movie of people who are really popular on YouTube or in the video game industry, but I just didn't recognize.
Yeah.
I guarantee there were probably 2 or 3 dozen
Yeah, like
of them.
the people they were showing, like, playing the games and stuff at the end or whatever. Yeah.
But, of course, there's, like, this woman in there who is trying to get him to go to, it's funny because the company is Cockburn Industries. And it's funny, there's actually a real last name called Cockburn, isn't there?
I don't.
There is. I could have swore
clue.
I knew somebody with a last name.
I think so, but
Cockburn.
okay.
We're gonna look that up after the video.
Okay.
Um, I say
Because it's necessary.
it is for me. It is,
Yeah, I
and
know.
so they end up at the landfill, and the freaking military gets involved, and there's like this general running around who's constantly getting injured throughout the whole movie,
He
losing
ended up
limbs
with
and stuff.
both arms gone.
Well, through like the first half of the movie, he walked around with a missing arm, like it
Yeah.
was like
He said it was just a flesh
yeah.
wound.
He gets his arm cut off right towards the beginning of the movie, and he walks around with this bleeding stump. Never even changes clothes the whole time, and you
In
can
this
tell.
little bitty tank too.
Yeah, and you can tell he doesn't have legs, or something. He's already
He
been
don't
hurt.
know, but I want to know what he was driving with when he lost both them arms. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Wow, nothing, mister. I want to look up Cockburn when we get done.
Yeah, we're gonna look. We're actually gonna message somebody on Facebook. I just want to make sure that's your real name, sir. Please reply. No, this is not a joke. But yeah. All right, whatever.
Focus.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, there was another subplot about this
Oh God.
giant monster that lives under Mount Fuji in Japan, and they awaken it at the end of the movie and end up
They
broadcasting
have to
some
fight it.
knowledge into its brain. I'll go ahead and say, James Rolfe, the guy who portrays the game nerd, he is a very, very, like, his favorite genre of movie is like monster movies,
Yeah.
like Godzilla, King Kong, stuff like that. And I mean, you probably noticed that from his video collection that he showed.
Yeah.
Really big fan of that. So obviously there was going to be some of that in this, and I think that was really just a completely unnecessary subplot that they threw in just so he could have his fun with a monster movie trope.
Yeah. It actually brought the movie down for me. It really did.
It did. It's
I was just like,
and
this
here's
is ridiculous.
Here's where I'm running into issues in a lot of movies. This one included, and even Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters we saw. Is the movie is great up until like this final loud, chaotic, nonsense, what I call Michael Bay final battle, where it's just a bunch of explosions, loud noises, special effects, and just boom, 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 boom.
And it can be cool if it ties in with the plot and stuff, but if it's just something that really isn't necessary,
Ghostbusters wasn't necessary.
I don't think it was.
This wasn't necessary.
I
I'm
don't
not
think
asking.
Ghostbusters was necessary. Period. You're talking to the wrong person. So.
Anyway.
I mean.
Speaking of, we never did a review on
No, we
that,
didn't.
and we're going to. Not tonight,
tonight.
but later. But yeah, this movie, the movie ends with everything being resolved and him actually during the credits doing a review of E.T. And I'll go ahead and say that the review of E.T. was one of his lesser reviews. It was almost like he was doing it just to do it. You could tell that he didn't have that. It was almost like he had put all of his time and effort into the movie itself, and then was like, crap, I've got to do a review of E.T. at the end of it. And he just kind of went through the paces. He didn't really show a lot of emotion. It came across as more of a cooling off period at the end of the movie.
Because that's what it was.
Yeah, and
I mean, it was after they showed the first credit, so.
Yeah, and I really think that he could do a proper review of E.T. later, but now it's done.
It's done, and it needs to stay done.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good plot, and it's one of the better independent films I've ever seen. I guess I will give this movie an 8 out of 10, just because it had some of the funniest parts in a movie. Granted, we're only over the last year. This is one of the funnier movies I've seen, It might not be strong in the plot department or the effects department, but that's what adds to its charm. And I really do like this movie. It's not going to be one of like my top 25 of all time, but it's just a good fun movie. It was good to watch. I probably won't watch it again for a year or more, but for him doing what he's done on YouTube and everything, this is a dang good effort. So.
Okay. Are you done?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. Kind of dragged out. I'm just saying. Anyway, I give it like a 7. The whole plot with the robot and stuff, that was uncalled for. It did have some funny parts. I loved how he stuck to his video formula, so to speak. And I enjoy his videos, don't get me wrong. I like them. But this was just a very long YouTube video, and I could care less if I watched it again.
Do you like his Angry Video Game Nerd stuff or his, like, other videos more? Which one do you like
What's the difference?
Well, I mean...
Like, I don't understand what's the difference, because you say, hey, let's watch this, and we do. I mean...
Okay, well, some he does in the Angry Video Game Nerd character with the white shirt and the pocket protector and the pens and the Rolling Rock beer. And then he's got other videos, like more behind-the-scenes stuff, more just discussion, where he reviews movies, he shows off his video game room.
Well, I've seen the one where he shows off the video game room. I don't think I've ever watched one where he's reviewed a movie.
Okay, because him, like, or the gameplay videos he does with Mike. It's like James and Mike Mondays. Mm-mm. Okay, well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I know him more. I know his video game nerd character, but I also know quite a bit about him outside of that.
Okay, what does that have to do with this movie?
I don't know.
0. Okay.
I was just asking. I was trying to get an opinion on whether you liked his non-nerd or his nerd stuff better.
I mean, but it don't have nothing to do with
you don't have
anything.
a knowledge base to go off of.
And, well, even if I did, it still don't have anything to do with anything.
I was just curious. God.
I'm sorry. I like to stay on track.
A little conversation here.
Like,
jeez.
You always never want to stay on track.
All right. Well, I'm happy that you gave it a 7.
Yeah.
Because that could have very easily been a 2. You know.
I don't like giving. Something's gonna have to be really shitty for me to give it like a 2.
I've seen some 2s.
I mean, I have 2, but not often.
Like, probably the crappiest movie that I've ever seen that I actually fell asleep in the movie theater was I had a date in high school drag me to go see the movie.
I've heard this story a few times.
It was called The Cider House Rules, and I freaking hated that movie. It was
probably one you didn't want to go anyway.
It had like a dark, like low light atmosphere. The movie did. It was quiet. There was a little bit of drama in it. And it was a subject matter. I'm sure there was probably some kind of Marvel movie out or something that I really wanted to go see. Mm-hmm. But I had one of those girlfriends that was like, oh, we need to go see this romantic, slow drama. And I'm like, all right.
Aren't you glad I don't make it?
And God, I tried making it through that movie. But
well, I've never been able to make it through Boogeyman because I fall asleep every time. So there's that.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this review.
Yeah, let's wrap this.
This gets a 7 and an 8. Angry Video Game Nerd movie. I was actually pleasantly surprised because anytime I go in with a YouTube personality who decides to jump into movie making, even though I'm a fan of the guy, I honestly expected hot garbage and I got something a lot better. So, pleasantly surprised.
Did you really expect hot garbage?
Yeah, I really wasn't thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting I wasn't expecting an 8. I was expecting maybe a 4 or a 5. You know, maybe a couple of good one-liners and overall a crap movie. But he did a lot better job than I figured he would.
I mean, I think he's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I just, for whatever reason, didn't really have high hopes for this film.
Oh, okay then.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by the fine folks at Infinity Flux in Hickson, Tennessee. Drop by and see them, pick up some comics, some games, some cards. And especially, use that tax return money. Go and get some stuff from Infinity Flux. Anyway, this has been our review of the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. I'm glad to actually have his logo up there with us. I almost feel like we've made it at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, everybody have a good rest of the day. Thanks for watching.